come to the county manager and said, look, at some point in time, if we see a chance of getting a library or trying to build a library or some way of doing it, he'd like to see it happen. That's where it started at. That happened probably 4 years ago, right after the county manager took office. Later on, we were looking at trying to find some money to do some repair work at the courthouse, to do some library work. We contacted USDA, and there was some money available for library work. So we had them come out there, the engineer come out, walked around the courthouse, looked at everything. He said, well, we could do this. It would cost you about $4 to $5 million, and we don't want to fund it. We'll loan you the money to build a new. That's where it started at. And that's where we started the process, trying to find it. Their actual loan rate was 4.5% interest rate. That's what the USDA said they would loan us a million, whatever the number was at that time. Well, when we first started the process, we thought around $1.9 million to $1 million. That number come out in the newspaper because that's what we were thinking when we started. And when that come up, it was just like, that's what it was going to cost to build it, $900,000. No, nothing else about it. That's what it was going to cost. So from that point on, we started working forward to it.
Where did this money come from? If it's not an increase in taxes, it came from another
We had the taxes. What we've got is the county has 2 debt service loans that will be paid off in the next 2 years, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 to $600,000. And it was on some other buildings that were built and done, repaired. All right, they come. The final payment on them is next year, I believe. So the plan that we have put together is 5 years. The first year we'll pay so much out of general fund, the first payment for 5 years. Then we'll take the 2.5 years of that same payment we're making right now on debt services, which was around $1 million, $1.25 million, something $1.5 million, 2 or 3 years. Pay off the library and put the money that we take out of general fund back in on the 4th year. So the 5th year it'll pay off for those 3 years we're using the debt services. It is taxable. Yes, it is taxable.
Right.
But
what it is right now we've got it obligated.
It's obligated for debt services, a long-term loan. Actually, the long-term loan was put into place like 6 or 7, several years back, and it was refinanced by a group for something for another 6 to 8 years. And this is the last, I think the last payment will be 2013. It's like a $5.5 million payment once a year for this service. And for 13 and 14, we'll just take it for 2 or 3 more years, pay the library off, have it done, without increasing, adding any more taxes to do it. It's already there. But it's not a dedicated tax. It's already a tax that we're already paying. It's there.
Budgeted.
We're budgeted, the money's budgeted to pay for the $500,000 payment on this loan. It's already there. We're going to use it to build a library. That's the plan right now.
How can we budget more money for the fire department, get money from the county?
That may happen. I mean, we've got 5 fire departments. We may end up that. There's a couple of things that you got to remember: fire departments, rescue squads, police departments, and I believe we ought to budget a lot of money for them. But people only want as much fire protection and as much police protection as they're willing to pay for. If you know what I'm saying. When it gets down to it, they only want as much as they're willing to pay for. You got 1 or 2 group of people that say, well, we ought to have 10 more deputies running around Gates County. You got another group now that says, hell, Bill Ure and Chester Winslow took care of Gates County for all them years by themselves, and just 2 of them.
Did a fine job.
And they've done a fine job, and I was here, I know all that. So I'm just telling you, people only want what they're willing to pay for when it comes down to paying for it. So you try to maintain, you try to watch your budgets. You try to keep your expenses down. You try to bring business in to help pay them taxes. That's just how government works. Anything else?
Is it at the request of the residents of Gates County to encourage all the development, and it goes through the?
Yes and no. Everybody has their opinions. I mean, if you go to a commission meeting or any other time, people have their opinions. No 2 people generally have the same opinion on the average. You take all of it collectively, and the whole idea is trying to decrease taxes.
So is it due to just the population size as to why they would only just start off with opening, say, like a dollar store somewhere in some
Well,
area?
These companies like this, they pretty much do what they want to do. And just for instance, I've talked to 3 or 4 grocery stores. Gates County has 12,197 citizens. They're spread over a 300 square mile area. The grocery store is used to working with 5,000 people in a 3 mile square area. That's generally how they think.
Now, the lanes in Junction, from coming. The lanes in Junction them from coming over here. Food Line wanted to come.
Well, yes and no.
That's the truth, and you can't vote.
Well, I won't there. I don't know all that. What I've been told is that they didn't want them. And I agree with it. They didn't want them. But Food Line wanted to come, but they wanted the county to really give them a lot of incentives. They wanted to pay half taxes or less. They wanted us to furnish them water and sewer for their food line. They wanted to tie into, actually they wanted to tie into the state sewer line, and the state said no when they were here last time. The state wouldn't let them tie into their sewer line. That's what they wanted to do.
So basically, I was just.
I don't know what the answer to that is.
Yeah.
I do know that if you take an area like the center of the county and you build a 50 nursing home, a 70 bed nursing home, and you put 70 families going in and out of there, you build a library, you build a bank, you've got 2 schools, and you've got this many people coming into one area, there's a good possibility that enough people coming there every day that somewhere like a Food Line might be interested to come back and look at it again.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah. I just don't see where like a dollar store is helping anybody in this county at all.
Dollar store, they went to Morgan's Corner to build one. I wouldn't have guessed there would have been anybody using it, but it's been really successful, to be honest with you. As far as grocery stores, I've talked to all 3, the chain in the area. Right now, they're not interested in Gates County, but if you manage to try to put enough people in one area at in a given period of time, it may come back to the table again.
To go along with them about getting jobs and that other stuff here, I know I work in the county. I've worked in the county for 2 years now, and I know bulk of my free income goes to that guy right there because of my animals, and a little bit goes to Brinkley. But everything else I spend outside of the county because I ain't gonna spend high prices at family foods.
Well, and unless we can get somebody to come and do something different, that's what we're trying to do. As part of this is trying to do this.
That's gas included.
Yeah.
Another part is people don't even realize, and I haven't even thought about it, but there's another little asset about the center of the county. There was 250,000 people that visited the mill pond last year. They had nowhere to spend nothing either.
That's because they don't have flyers at the mill pond telling what's going on right now.
Well, I heard that. Yeah. But, we still don't have nowhere for them to spend the money.
You got Red Barn, you got Brinkley's, you
Yeah,
got
but
the county market.
generally they're not gonna run. They won't come to the Red Barn and buy bait. They won't come to Graham's and buy bait to go fishing in the mill pond. They generally gonna bring it with them. If they were somewhere in the eastern cross area, they would probably start spreading them out a little bit more. And then you see a little bit more. I didn't realize there was that many people coming to Gates County in a year's time. 250,000 people visited. I hardly even believe it, but that's what their records said. They were in and out and hid pretty good in the mill pond, I reckon. I don't know, alligator or something, I don't know, but there's a lot of people over there that goes in there. When they told me that, I was just blowing my mind. But that's part of trying to plan ahead and look towards the future. You know you got that there, so you try to work with something that will turn it into instead of a draw on the county, an asset to the county.
And that's a lot of travel.
It sure is. They had to come through somewhere.
And I thought it was Sunbury.
I expect you'll see the Family Dollar in Sunbury pick up some, the ones that come through there.
They're gonna get family foods around for their money across